and a cool sensation as if a immediate breeze seems to immediately brush through your caravan.
Air conditioning.
You will notice as you guys are led inside, a number of guards seem to surround your group. As you will notice, other individuals from the nearby alleyways and the nearby rooftops seem to gather. Every now and then, you'll see someone moving up, trying to reach their hands out for any offerings that they can get. As you do see, every now and then, another person tries to move up near the group. You'll see what seems to be a small tiefling like woman, once displaying very fine looking regal like dress. However, you see that part of it is torn, showing what seems to be pieces of jewelry that was immediately torn off. You'll see that there are small markings on the side that shows either some form of either self-inflicted wound. You're not entirely sure, but there's small markings along the side of her skin as she will step forwards, trying to reach out and grab along the side of the moving gypsy carriage before one of the guards immediately pushes her back, sending her back into the small crowd of eyes and bodies that are currently watching your group.
Could I tell what type of wound it was with my medical experience?
Roll me a medicine check, please.
22.
Based on what you can see, a lot of them seem to be very thin, tiny, almost dot-like wounds that you could only assume to be some form of syringe or very thin, almost cylindrical-like puncture.
I would ask the guard, the one that's escorting us, is there a rampant drug problem among those waiting outside?
You'll see the one that had answered you before looks over towards his companion as both of them give a slight chuckle for a moment under their breath, before the one in front of you slowly turns his head back towards you. Yes, Your Highness, you could say that. Whatever they can find to stop the starving, stop the bleeding, stop whatever they get themselves into. Just because you're inside the walls doesn't make you maker here. They're in the Arca right now. Uh, for those that understand Woo, I think only Vrek would actually understand this.
And he went inside!
Yeah.
What
So
language?
you'll need to understand Infernal and Primordial.
I only understand Infernal. Dang.
Vannon, I think.
Yep,
Vannon
and,
knows both. Yeah.
and I'm
Uh,
telepathic, so
okay. So let's see. Uh, you'll see him look over towards his companion, whispering out for a moment. They really have no idea what they're doing here, huh? So naive. Yes, whatever that they can find. Starvation is usually the more well-known thing. But usually it is the Arca that claims a lot of people here. And Vannon, as he says the Arca before, you'll know that the Arca, more specifically Arca, is a mixture of primordial and infernal that essentially means the devil's dude.
say Dune.
The devil's due.
Dune. Okay.
How ominous.
You'll see the guard look over towards you, Dune, smile for a moment. Only the ones that have got the most amount of debts end up here. Unless you have no debt at all and just can't afford to get past the next wall. If you are simply traveling here and simply staying one night, it would be recommended that you don't stay here if you like whatever is in your pockets.
Noted.
As he is saying that, you'll see Allison at the front seems to wrap the reins around her wrist a little more tightly. Looks over towards Rovan, who will give a slight nod of, "It's all right," before looking around, cracking the knuckles, where you see the radiant white energy within the metal seem to blaze for a moment, as some of the nearby people will quickly scatter away from the giant individual that seemed to walk alongside you.
Hmm. I'll try and puff myself out, make me look bigger, make more intimidating so no one gets near me or my companion behind me.
Roll me an intimidation check, please, Dune.
That's gonna be awesome. Um, there.
Even though you're not exactly causing a lot of the nearby individuals to scatter like your 10-foot tall companion, you are causing some of the nearby individuals that are currently in your way, currently growling out and giving off the distinctful feral-like growls and aggression to whoever's nearby. However, it's mostly small beggars and like currently starving uh, individuals, not only native but also what seems to be uh, people of the Empire, unlucky enough to go through the procedure of getting into Estera, but having no means of getting further in except through the first wall.
Mm.
As you do see, some people will give you like the side glance, will eventually step aside due to the fact that there's a much larger caravan. However, you'll notice that some people seem to give you a side look of recognition more than intimidation.
I keep that in mind. That's odd, but okay.
Any visual markings of the Zentarum in this ring?
Uh, Roll me a perception check.
Fuck, natural one. Finally got a
Wow, dang.
No longer with your shield and the guidance that is with it. You look around, mostly covering your face with the fan to not draw too much attention. Uh, you're more drawn to the fact of the more desecrated people that you start to see is really relatively no different than the ones that are currently outside. Um, as you do see a lot of the nearby individuals do show to be relative families, beggars that are currently handing out. You do see the occasional sign of of starving younger Cambion or starving native child that seems to be moving from the inner sanctums and inner alleys of these buildings. It's quite clear that you are currently moving through a place that probably will never see a gold in their life. And that perspective definitely draws your attention away more than the current objective. You're not used to this. You guys are moving forwards. Professor, if you're wishing to do the same, Van as well, given your previous experience.
For what? Sorry. What do you want me to do? What am I
You're
doing?
looking for any distinctful marks
Oh yeah.
within this first ring
Yes.
of any unfriendly or any ways of guidance.
Yes.
Reception?
Perception.
Remember, you have advantage.
Vannon, yes. Um, the answer, yes, absolutely. You can see littered along a lot of these buildings, littered along a lot of the inside of the walls. You can see that there are multiple messages that have been littered and placed along the inside of this first ring. The ones that immediately will catch your attention. Let's see. Professor,
Yes.
you will see written in code, more specifically, two pieces of interest that Van will also recognize. You will find what seems to be uh, the mortician's friend. You'll see what seems to be a arrow leading to the western circle of the first ring. That seems to be leading away from the main avenue of the which you'll see that there is a marking on the ground, which has been called the Golden Road.
Okay.
And you'll see that the Golden Road seems to be pointing directly forwards towards the next door. You'll see that there is a arrow, multiple arrows that you'll see passing through that seem to be leading towards the west. That is currently saying, "When those of grave tidings come to pass, call on the mortician's friend to help you in your last breath."
You have any idea what Mortician's friend is implying?
No idea.
Okay.
The second thing that you will find is that there seems to be a large arrow that is leading from the first door, leading to the outside, that seems to funnel around to the eastern side. And you'll see that the arrow seems to rise into the shape of a dragon, with its head and mouth open, and there seems to be a breath of fire that seems to be directed down towards a single location, nearby one of the mountain edges over here. And you will see written in the breath of the dragon, written in infernal and in code, is, "Where the heat is released, you will find companions to give you the warmth of a good night's rest."
Okay.
Vannon, you caught one thing that no one else really did. One moment, please.
So who's all still left? Okay. So hectic. I'm fucking around with the idea now that I've seen a Gatling gun. I'm like, huh. I wonder if I could like mount a Gatling gun on Dune's back in a harness like this, like has a seated mount, and then I act as like a mounted combatant, but with a Gatling gun. And I'm trying to AI generate it, and it started out kind of okay. And like at least I had a guy on the back of a werewolf holding a sword and shield with a gun. It's as I've tried to refine it more and more.
Yeah.
I now have wolf hybrid horses, werewolf hybrid horses. I have a horse that's half shield.
Horse cannon, mind you.
I gotta see this. Let me pick.
Oh, with the tail of a wolf, by the way.
You gotta send me some. I gotta see this.
See,
Send him that one. That one's fucking funny.
I'll start from the three, like the top of the three that I've sent you. Where's Hectic? So this is where we started, Hectic.
Okay.
This is us degrading into oblivion, where it started to give me werewolf horse people or werewolf horse creatures. And this is where we're up to now, and I'm just wondering how far we've strayed from God at this point.
Vannon, that is what you see.
All right. So Vanny will point. Will nudge the professor and point to the. I think you said a manhole.
Well, it seems to be a sewer entrance. Yeah, it seems to be a air sealed door, made out of metal and wood. That seems to lead down, kind of like a basement entrance.
Yes.
Like a trapdoor that leads down underground.
There's a bunch of symbols on there that you may find interesting.
Yeah, I'll look over at it.
You look over and see what seems to be the symbolization of a crow and a rat fighting over a key. You would know that usually in code, this is essentially a welcome to people that wish to buy information or buy equipment from
Okay.
those that are not above the normal standard grade.
Okay, found the black market. Good eye. I didn't even notice that. Just take note of where it is. Keep going.
Okay. You are guided forwards, led by the small squadron of the Estera guards. You'll find that the lead guard will continue forwards, eventually leading you down. It will take almost a full hour of travel as you guys are led down the large golden road, as multiple people can be seen looking through windows. You'll see small groups of individuals passing on by, the same masks and cloaks that you had seen within a Vin seem to be slowly gathered around this certain area. You'll see occasionally what seems to be a small market of stalls that show either dried fruits or small pieces of food that seem to be relatively either dried or rationed out to last for long times. However, nothing relatively fresh can be seen in this area.
You good?
It is at the end of the hour. You guys will eventually find yourself at the second wall. Again, almost standing almost 250 foot tall, displaying even more of these Gatling gun like turrets on the top of the walls. You will see even more guards seem to litter the top of these walls as you guys are making your way in further to the center. You'll see the female guard in front of you will pass the piece of parchment that she was holding to a secondary guard who will look over the piece of parchment for a moment, look over your small caravan. Very well.
Who here is the Professor Howard's son?
I push Professor forward.
You'll see the guard look you up and down, Professor, for a moment.
Hello.
I suppose I do see the resemblance. Please, follow me.
And you'll see him nod towards the other guard, who will give a slight salute, and will eventually leave you guys to the new group's caravan. You'll see as you guys are beginning to step forwards, and uh, both Rovan and Allison begin to start pushing the carriage forwards. You'll see the guards step forwards, stop them in their progress.
I'm sorry. I do apologize. I do believe that it was only a certain number of you that were allowed inside, not including this form of caravan.
So we gotta leave the caravan out here?
You'll see Rovan and Allison look at each other for a moment, give a slight nod before Allison will look towards you, Daisy. It's okay. We will go ahead and find a place to park. If you are ever needing some form of residence, we will try and find a safe space out here.
I was gonna
But
say, is it gonna be safe out here?
we'll. She'll look over towards Rovan, who will give a slight shrug of his shoulders.
We'll manage.
I'll look at her and say, "Keep the kids safe."
Yes, fully intend to. Um, and your personal assistant, will they be joining you as well? And she'll look down towards the open door of the carriage, where you do see the blonde half elf will step inside and retrieve Rek from inside the carriage as well.
She is welcome to stay with you. We could only account for so many. Although, Vrag, hurry up!
Talis is gonna look over towards you, Daisy.
Oh,
Will just would look over at you and just silently give a nod of, I'd much prefer to go with you instead of stay there here with them.
I'll give him a nod of understanding, and then since Daisy's not good at hand signals, she'll just shrug and wish him luck. The best we can do.
And how many can we take in? Like,
It
what's
will
the
be
number?
yourselves and Talius. They'll be allowed to step
Oh,
inside.
Oh, if Tullius,
yeah, bring.
then
Yeah.
we'll drag Tullius in. Yeah, I thought it was just the original amount. But yeah, if Tullius is
No,
allowed, then yeah.
you've made it clear that Tullius is with you as like one of your personal assistants, as one of your retainers.
Oh, okay.
So it would be unwise to have one of nobility without one of their needed retainers.
Right. Okay, yeah. Then
So
Tullius comes along.
Tullius will come along with the enchantment still on. You'll see Rovan and Allison will smile. Eventually, will get their belongings and will also pass the message along that they will be keeping an eye on the children for the time being, that you guys have been taken care of until you guys return. The doors slowly open, giving a slight thooming sound as the rolling of stone against metal echoes out into the air. The caravan begins to leave you behind, leading over towards the eastern side of the first circle. And the front guard will beckon you all inside.
Please. Madam Amarallis, Madam Mr. Howard, by all means, let us get into Mr. Business.
Okay.
Thank you. And I step forward.
Yep.
As you step forwards, the doors open, and you do see as you are stepping forwards the sound of guards immediately pushing some nearby folks back to try and rush through the open gates. You do see that there is a complete opposite sign of the structure and the complete opposite scenario of the atmosphere that you can see. As you step on through, you can see very fine, well made looking buildings, each 2 stories high. You can see that there are civilians passing on by, the sound of laughing children and people having casual conversation. You do see what looks to be a very fine, bustling city within the second circle of Estera. You can see as you're stepping through, only mere maybe 20 feet away from the doors of the second ring, you can see what seems to be a small stall of pastries that are currently being served mere feet away from what you had left behind a desecrated small civilization. You do see smiles on people's faces, and you will actually notice that there is a much larger variety of natives in comparison to empire folk here. Where you saw that there was a large smattering of a mix of maybe 70 percent natives and 30% of the empire folk, you would see maybe a good 90% of the natives are currently occupying the space. However, that does not stop the current display of every now and then a gnomish or halfling human, even a small half orcish like figure will occasionally pass you by as the guards will begin to beckon you forwards. You will see what seems to be a small gathering of stores as you guys are moving forwards along the main city path towards the next inner circle. As you guys are stepping in, maybe a good 100 or so feet forwards, you will see what seems to be a glistening green gem resting in the center of a clock tower. As you guys are stepping in, you will hear a sudden chime of bells echoing out in the air that seems to be emanating from that clock tower, as multiple stalls and multiple small marketplaces seem to be filling in the space and beginning to make their small purchases throughout the day. One
Kind of
could say
pastries
that
they got.
this would be
Okay.
basically like stepping in from a small village that has been desecrated 1 second and then entering a very fine, like small town the next second.
Sure.
It's quite clear that the step between the first circle and the second is quite the large.
Is there no riffraff in the second circle?
Um, perception check.
Okay.
I'm sure they've been kicked out to the first circle.
Just wondering. Oh, god damn it.
Hey,
It's
another
good.
one.
Everything looks good.
You look around, and as you're stepping forward, you're like, "Huh, I wonder if there's." You look down, you'll notice that your coin purse is missing.
Oh no.
At least I don't keep much personal. Let's see much. I don't keep much on my person. I
Uh,
don't think. Damn
just for
it.
note, Professor, you lose
Yeah.
15 gold.
Oh, 15. Okay. All right. I'm gonna look around. Is there? I just had a perception check. Is there any way to try to see? Is there like any street urchin or anything like running off or anything like? Just like or is it
Uh,
just
you look around, immediately noticing that the string to your coin purse has indeed been cut by a very sharp blade. You look around immediately to see if there's any immediate rushing away individuals, someone that you could immediately hone in. However, It seems that this place is bustling with happiness and joy, but not of tricksters and thieves.
All I've got is a few platinum on me, so we'll call it 2 platinum. I guess then would be probably
Sure.
be the fair. Okay. Watch your pockets, fellas.
You don't say. With that, I would like to look for Zentarum symbols.
Go ahead. If anyone else is wishing to do
19.
other things as well, you're free to ask. If you're wishing to try and find anything within this new landscape, you're free to ask as well.
I'll check my coin purse too, just to be sure.
Make sure that's safe.
Sure, Dune. Give me a perception check.
Oh, great. It's gonna go fantastic. Wow.
My boy.
But
Reckoning
on
them
that coin
hallmarks.
first.
Dune, you look down and your coin purse is there, and you have a strange feeling that no one really wants to fuck around with a large shifter.
Well,
I
I have to ask
really
this because
myself.
I'm curious now. What about my coin pouch?
I'm telling you, they're safe.
That's
Oh,
Moretta
mine-
has a gun.
Mine's empty. I just want to. I hope someone's disappointed.
Bro, that's funny.
You free to roll a perception check, and if you roll a nat 1, then we'll find out, won't we? Daisy. You look around and you try and see any distinctful marks of the Zentarum. Nothing of immediate notice that you can see. It seems that every now and then you do see distinctful marks of familiar signs of thieves' cants that you will occasionally point out to the professor to signal out and figure out what they mean. However, all of them seem to be directing towards that emerald encrusted clock tower and the bazaar that seems to surround it. Harry, your coin purse is there and has not been touched.
Dang.
Nice, Harry. I'm happy for you.
However, you will
Hey,
notice
I wouldn't
that
mind to take it. That'd be hilarious.
you will notice, however, Harry, as you are passing by that Emerald Bazaar, what seems to be a numerous set of stalls that seem to have the same mechanical machinery as the same style of mechanics as your firearms.
Hmm. Well, I mean, if you're gonna tempt this, I'm gonna glance over the firearms that I see.
Uh, from this distance is not exactly, you can't get the best of details. However, looking over at the stall in particular, you do see what seems to be a relatively old-looking, hunched over looking goblin-like individual who seems to be working away, carefully placing down what seems to be small cylindrical like attachments onto pieces of cloth or small pillows until eventually you'll see a much larger looking bugbear come in with the pieces of equipment that suddenly catch your attention. You'll see what seems to be a 6-barreled looking small sidearm that they place down onto one of the nearby pillowcases. You see what seems to be a relatively small looking mechanical piece of machinery with multiple cogs. However, you'll see that underneath it seems to be a extended form of container that could possibly hold something. You're not entirely sure. However, you'll see that each time that the goblin seems to place the container in the bottom of this particular firearm, it seems to give off a slight click. You'll see as well the last piece of equipment that they seem to be showing at this moment in time, apart from the attachments that seem to be relatively situational, is a much larger looking weapon with a single barrel. And you will recognize that this is the same weapon that you saw the much bulkier looking individuals, guards that you had seen leaving the front gate with.
Okay.
You will notice that they are currently not activated with the same purplish like hue that were currently glowing from the inside of the barrel. However, they do seem to have the same structure and size as the firearms that the much larger guards were using. Apart from that, you do see that there's a fine amount of individuals there that seem to be selling all forms of ammunition, as well as what seem to be other stalls that seem to be showing other pieces of armor and equipment, as well as vials and other pieces of valuables that can be traded within this large trading center.
Okay.
It is, as you guys are passing this by, eventually you will see what seems to be uh, a small workshop, mostly made out of the same pale like white sandstone that most of the buildings here are made out of. However, you will see what seems to be a crest of an open book with its hand placed over the open pages in the incantation of two fingers out and the remaining three two fingers in and the thumb inside as well, basically holding a peace sign over the two pages. Professor, you will recognize this as your family crest. As you see, the guard will step forwards outside of the big building, 2 stories high. You'll see him step forwards, nodding towards the door.
Do believe your father is waiting inside. If there is anything else that I can help you with, then by all means, I'll be waiting outside.
I give the guard a courteous bow.
He will bow his head towards you, Daisy.
Miss Amorales, were you also wishing to have a family meeting? I can make the arrangements.
Hmm. Perhaps another time.
Very well.
The guard will stand attention to the side of the door.
Alright. Dragging the professor by the arm, I go and knock on the door.
Okay. In less than formal fashion, Daisy takes the professor, starting to drag him over until eventually knocking on the front door to the workshop. There is a couple of seconds of voices echoing out from within until a voice calls out into the air, "Just one moment!" Before eventually you'll see what seems to be a shadow appearing through the small window. You'll see the door eventually open, and standing in front of you, you do see the familiar face, spectacles covering the bridge of his nose, a set of grayish like hair that seems to rest over the shoulders of the much older looking human currently in front of you, maybe in his late to mid late 50s. Professor, you do see your father standing in front of you, currently wearing his usual exploring jacket and currently adorning the same glasses as you usually see. He will currently close his book, smile towards you. Rutager, my dear boy, it's been a while, and quickly start to step over, wrapping his arms around you.
been wonderful to see you. It's great to see that you're still in one piece. How did things go over in Trist?
He'll immediately beckon you inside, stepping into the front room, where you can see that there is a small living room, where there is a singular dining table with 6 chairs, 3 of which have been pulled out, 3 of which are still inside. You can see that there is a small meal that is halfway in the process of being eaten, and you'll notice that there is only 1 plate that has been placed, that has the remains of what looks to be some form of potatoes in tomato like sauce and beef. You'll see the remainder of the dinner has been placed into a small hot pot to the side. Multiple books and scribbled scrolls and tomes litter the nearby tables and chairs, as well as the nearby couch that has been stacked up with multiple books of all forms of literature and history involving not only the history of the Empire, but also the history of Essrena. You'll see the professor stepping over, guiding you over Rudiger until he pulls over one of the currently tucked in chairs of the dining room table and pulls it out, carefully placing you down and slides a chair directly in front of you.
Hope you've been well. How it was, Trist? Did everything go well? Did you find the gem?
Sorry to interrupt, Roger. But your son's been mentally absent for a few minutes now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is he well? Has he been eating right?
Oh, it's the shock of just seeing the first ring, It's so different,
Carefully places the back of his hand against Rudiger's head.
Is he catching a fever? Shouldn't be. The place has been enchanted with to negate the outside environmental effects.
Oh, no worries. We had enough wine to last us days to travel through the desert.
Aye. Well, no wonder he's unable to talk. The poor boy must be completely slaughtered, as they say.
Eh, I don't know. Never seen him drink before this. Should be fine. I kept my promise. After all, he's here in one piece.
Indeed, you did. Now, while he's currently recovering from his hangover, might I ask, what exactly is the reason for your visit? Apart from the obvious, well, handing over of the item that I had asked for, I'm assuming.
I make sure everyone comes inside and then close the door behind us.
Yes. Unless anyone wishes to actually stay outside of the workshop, I will assume that everyone has stepped inside.
Oh, after the door's closed, I'll look at him like, well, see, interesting thing about that gem you wanted. Um, we barely escaped of our lives, and we did not get the gem. But interesting fact, that enemy family of yours, they're donezo, all dead or petrified, one of the two.
I highly doubt that is the case, Miss Amarallis. The Flickwick family are more than alive, the last time I checked.
Well, those that were sent there, petrified or
People,
dead.
people were sent there. Oh,
Oh yes, we met them. Well,
that's right. I did
well,
hear
from
that.
what I've been told, we met one of them. Can't really remember,
Mm,
memory is sort of hazy. It's like we were walking through this wasteland, and then all of a sudden I was inside a barn. So like I lost like 24 hours of my memory. But that's neither here or there. Um, yeah, no, they went to straight to the top. Like there's 5 layers of Trist. They went straight to the top, and they fucked around and found out.
I see. Very well. I will await for your return with a more successful standard. Uh, as they say, I did believe that I did say, take your time. It's wonderful to hear that you made it out alive. Horrible to hear that there might be people that are trying to steal this gem. But I did say that the place is dangerous, so it's on them for trying.
Oh yes, they went straight to the top. We went right through the front doors. Front doors, not that bad. To be honest, what waited deeper inside, not good. Honestly, barely escaped.
He'll slowly nod.
I see. Where'd you go, my dear boy? Seems that you finally
Hello.
come to your senses.
Yes, sorry, just kind of taking it all in.
Your father will sit down in front of you, carefully patting you on the shoulder.
I hear from Miss Amorales here that your little gem debacle did not go so well. Don't
Oh
worry.
yeah,
Take your
it was a
time, my
real
dear
shit
boy.
show.
It was merely an asking point. Take your time. I'm not exactly expecting it anytime soon, especially given the fact that, based on this particular report, anyone that was trying to take it seems to be no longer a threat in doing so.
Oh yeah,
But
the Flickwicks want it real bad, but I think the bulk of what they can send is probably statues at the moment. So no
Hmm.
danger there. Hagen.
Yes, the one that used to call you Nine Toes.
Yes, he is. I'm fairly confident saying he is a statue currently. Project for a future date.
I'm sorry to hear that. I remember you had a good friendship with him. Hmm. Well, good news and bad news seem to intertwine with each other, don't they?
Certainly.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to give you some of the good end.
Please do.
Things
Good
have
news.
been interesting here. Recent news of current predicaments happening towards the south and towards the east and west, and a supposed war that's been happening for quite some time. Apparently, there's been rumors of individuals that are wanting to get involved in it, involving the Empire. I myself have not been one to embrace the ideas of war, but sometimes it cannot be avoided.
Certainly. Is that the reason for the added security?
That, as well as a number of uh, supposed Empire ships heading their way from the south towards the west. They were trying to apparently compel a certain amount of forces that have been making their way here. Apparently, it's been causing the locals to have a bit of a disagreement with our folk.
Sure. Yeah, that's having been here a while, it seems the locals at best tolerate outsiders. This is probably not good to strain relations.
We've
Hopefully
been
this doesn't.
trying our best to maintain a relatively decent relationship with the royal princess here, as well as her council. However, it is hard to do so when there are outside forces continuously making our jobs hard.
Certainly.
Speaking of that matter, would you by chance know of what exactly is happening?
Where exactly?
Yeah, what are you
A
referring
There's
to?
a
number of
lot of many places.
Empire ships have been discovered gathering towards the south of Estera. Uh, they've been making their way towards some form of location towards the western side of Estera.
Well,
Another peninsula towards the far west,
all I
just
can
above
say
Khan Kulin.
is classified, but they are friendly, and they're going to deal with a thorn on their side. Quite a large one.
Should this be something I put forward a report to?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
It's not the concern of the Styrian government. Because if it was their concern, they wouldn't have let it become a thorn. Because from what I've seen, most of the problems that this government has that they attribute to our people is due through their own
That's
negligence.
an understatement.
They've neglected Avon. Avon is a massive problem. They neglected that place. That place is also a problem. They neglected the chain bearers. They almost lost Boshion and Ikotal to it.
Which
It's
is
their
why
own incompetence and their desire to wage this war up north that has led them to now be flanked, or rather, have the enemy at their doorstep, or rather, even right inside their city.
Daisy, as you're saying this,
Not,
you
I'm
do
not screaming.
see,
I'm just keeping a low voice.
yeah, as you're saying this, you do see Tullius in his half-elven form watching you as you're saying this, arms crossed,
Yeah.
not missing a word.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the Zentarum not only has their hands completely over Avon, but they definitely have their influence inside the first ring. Wouldn't be surprised since we saw even a Zentarum initiate or whatever it was outside the city walls.
There's a
Th-
thief,
If
though.
yeah, thieves, yeah. Like if the if the first ring is just as squalid as the outside, I'm not surprised if there is Zentarum presence in there. So they've not only neglected Avon, allowing them to create an entire base, they now have more likely an outpost in here.
You see Professor Howard think this over for a moment, gives a slight nod. Here's what I've been hearing within the City Council and the council members of the jurisdiction between the Empire and Essrena. With all matters of respect, I would prefer if this word was not released outside of these walls.
Very well.
over the last number of weeks, we have been trying to discover a means of creating some form of relation with the first princess. Since the recent illness of her father over the last couple of months, we've seen her influence and power grow. During that time, we've also found that the inner workings of the underground market and recent activities in crime, not only in the first ring but also outside of the walls of Estera, seem to have been growing. Not only that, but numerous members of our military forces and even our reserves from nearby cities that have been scrounged and gathered by our royal court have been sent towards the north into some unneeded missions, some unneeded conflicts that have caused multiple lives to have either been lost or have gone missing. I believe that this might be related. Either the First Princess has something or someone currently controlling her ear, or the First Princess is no longer the person that we believe that she was. Regardless, I believe that there's some form of naive play that is currently being played here, and I would like to try and find the bottom of it.
Do you have any suspicions? Like, does she have like a chancellor or advisor close to her?
Yes, indeed I do. As of late, there has been a small coven, as they may say, of individuals not only native here, but also that seems to have relations to the Empire.
Interesting.
One, as he will slowly turn his attention over towards Daisy,
I fucking knew
includes
it.
a particular Margrave Avalaris, the last of which we have not seen for the last number of weeks. Her influence was actually quite needed for our gain in the last number of weeks, since she was involved in a massive trade that we were going to uphold with a number of the Lord's Alliance, as well as the Order of the Gauntlet. And he'll once again look over towards Daisy. The Emerald Enclave. As we so find it, it also seems that the Chancellor of Trade of Estera, one Hagen Twente, seems to be making particular dealings with individuals of the First Ring that are usually unbecoming of him. I believe that there might be some outside forces coming into play that needs to be investigated. Of course, given my current status and standing, I can't put this investigation into my own hands. Therefore, I will need assistance. Just slowly looks around the group.
Uh, mm, I'll let you in on what we are truly here for, since it seems we're aligning on things. I've had a sneaking suspicion that the princess was involved with the Zentarum in some way or form, be it directly or now, as you stated, through proxy, knowingly or unknowingly. We planned to infiltrate Avon and carry out a rescue mission and detainment of certain individuals for various different tasks. If we can find information linking it back to the trade minister, then I'll definitely pass it on to you. As it stands, regarding the Emerald Enclave, and I pull out my Harper pin, I'm no longer part of the Enclave. I am now a Harper.
You'll see him display a small hint of a smile at the mention of that.
Good. In that case, I would like for you to tell the storyteller that I have something that needs to be spoken to her about.
I can set up the talk right now if you desire.
I so wish to, yes.
You'll
So
see him immediately setting himself up, like folding the collar, making himself look reasonably presentable.
all right. I activate the locket.
Rudiger, do I still look young?
Looking good, Dad.
Fantastic, my boy.
And he'll quickly realign his glasses, will straighten himself out, brushing off what seems to be a small bit of crumb resting on his collar, will brush that to the side, will stand at attention,
So be it.
will nod to you, Daisy.
All right, I dial up the phone to my boss.
Okay. Opening the locket and giving out the chime, you see the small reflection of the inside of the locket beside the picture of your family that is currently still showing a small smile on each of their faces. You'll see the mirror shimmer for a moment until eventually you do see uh, the storyteller slowly beginning to come into view through the reflection. will look over for a moment, smile, and will tilt her head slightly at the vision of uh Professor's father, Professor Howard, sitting there.
Alright, I'll speak up first. Boss, I have a one Roger Howard who would like to speak to you about something.
I am more than aware of who this individual is, Miss Amarellis. Mr. Howard, I do remember our last conversation, and I do remember that you declined my offer. Did you perhaps reconsider? And you'll see the professor chuckle slightly.
Afraid now is not the time to be discussing guild matters. I sadly will not be accepting your offer as proposed before. However, what I will ask is instead a small favor.
You'll see Valtine perk an eyebrow for a moment. You have plenty of favors to call in, Professor. What exactly is the weight of this particular situation? And you'll see him chuckle out for a moment.
The weight is quite high. Quite high indeed. I understand that you have one of your own here with us now. I will have to say that she is in quite a fair amount of danger being here. However, regardless of the fact, I need to call in a favor. I have heard that there's been some recent going-ons within the Emerald Enclave, which I believe that your subordinate might have already been discussing with you.
And he'll look over towards you, Daisy, as if to confirm.
I'll nod.
If you are needing any further information in regards to the Emerald Enclave while I'm here, you can consider my book well and truly open for you. But until then, I will discuss further matters with your compatriots.
You'll see Valtine smile for a moment. I'll be waiting for the report, Professor. You'll see her smile towards you, Daisy. Give a wave and a wink. Until next time, dear. Unless you have questions for me.
I'll ask any questions I have when I give you my report.
Wonderful. Then I will be waiting for yours too.
Later,
See you
boss.
soon, my dear. She'll give a wink, a wave, and the reflection will return to the mirror. The professor will nod for a moment.
So, I might have requested a small favor in regards to possibly finding further information on the Emerald Enclave. I might need to call in another favor towards you, my dear son.
He'll look over towards you, Professor.
Okay, hopefully not another suicide mission.
No, I hope not indeed. Should there be matters that need to be tended to involving these Emerald Enclave, I would hope to possibly call upon you and your companions should the need arises.
Sure, I don't see why not. Daisy, that doesn't conflict. I mean, that you're fine
Daisy
with that.
pats Dune's back and goes, "Shit, that's all you had to say."
Okay, then yeah, just let me know.
Look, I've made it my vendetta at this point to bring down the Emerald Enclave after I found out they were tracking me.
Sure, I mean that's more than fair. Yeah, as
Like,
always.
not only are they the reason the green is a problem right now,
Yes.
their leader is in bed with a freaking Zentarum. I'm sure of it.
Okay. Okay.
Like, he was working the chambers are working this Zentarum, therefore there's a link between this. Definitely
Sure.
haven't been looking at all his notes. I'm not crazy here.
Maybe a
Okay.
song.
That's an
How'd you get
enthusiastic yes.
Meepo's notes? That's what I want to know.
Shit, I wonder.
So ever your faithful son, Father. It will be done. Just let me know.
I'm glad to hear. Now, in regards to what you're doing here, you're wishing to get into Avon.
Yeah, we're
Yeah. What
thinking
does
of having your son, our friend Rec over there, and our friend Vannon over here make us disguises to just walk into Haven.
Yeah, we haven't really
Well, one does
got
not
anything
simply.
concrete. As of now, we just know we need to get in. I was hoping maybe you'd have some ideas on that front.
You are wishing to have a cloak of the faceless. Yes?
Indeed. One for each of us.
He'll nod slowly. Very well. I can provide this for you. Give me a few days.
Do you know how many?
Is it 10?
He'll quickly
10 days?
look over for a moment.
Shut up.
I can possibly get those to you in maybe the next 2 or 3 days.
Aw,
Try to make it two.
that'll be beneficial. This is time sensitive matter.
I'll do what I can. Of course, I will need to ask, what exactly is your business within Haven?
I look at Harry. I'm like, it's your mission.
Uh, well,
That it
I
is.
have a retrieval mission for a very high-ranking member within the HDM, and I believe that is all I'm allowed to disclose.
HDM. You lot were always secretive. Right. Very well. I will do my best to try and locate the cloaks and the masks for you. Until then, try and not bring too much attention to yourselves.
Oh, trust me, I'm getting out of this dress. I'm not used to using these anymore. You got any place I can change? Because I hate wearing this anymore longer than I have to.
He'll nod up to a set of stairs that leads to the second floor.
There should be a
Look.
set of guest rooms on the right. You're all
Lovely.
free to use them as much as you wish.
Yeah, Daisy will go ahead and re-equip.
While
The
Daisies do that,
professor. Yes.
can I work on making a quick sketch of the mechanical man that I offered to repair?
Yes.
So I don't know if I have to roll anything for that or.
No, you get a genuine sketch of the man that you remembered repairing. You know that is relatively dark-looking armor, rotund around the midsection and the body area, since you know that there wasn't a normal human-sized body, but a smaller kobold currently working the inner workings of the armor from the inside as well. You knew that the individual carried around no particular weapons, but there did seem to be some form of energy-like readings inside of the hands, and seemed to be some form of pulse-like energy that seems to be relatively familiar to the same energy that Vrek seems to use when firing his particular cannon.
Okay, so I get a decent enough sketch.
Yeah.
Once I get the sketch, I'd like to present to Professor Father. As you have some pull, I was curious if by chance, any sightings of this man that you know of? Has he caused any issues? Has he surfaced anything that would catch your eye?
Uh, as you see, Rudiger Adwin, your father does take you aside mostly asking if your tome is still working, if you're still practicing and working on your spell work, as he's getting into the part of possibly displaying some of the newer tricks that you've learned. Harry approaches, and he will turn his attention, looking down at the sketch that he had made, will tilt his head slightly.
Yes, I do believe that this particular picture has come across my desk once before.
You have any information?
It
What
was a passing thing during one of the meetings. Um, I can't exactly remember how long ago it was, maybe 2, 3 weeks. Ah, we had a certain individual come to our attention, a certain matter between higher members of the council and ourselves that were respected amongst the law, to discuss certain individuals that have been gaining some form of infamy in this place. Apparently, this particular individual, who goes by the name of the Iron Pot, simply is someone who has killed before. Um, Not exactly sure what his true intentions are, but apparently there's been some form of brutal beatings involving members of much higher height than others. Usually the targets were of Goliath or half-orcish like standing, pummeled and burned by some form of scorch mark like electricity. It was also mentioned he went by by another name.
that would be?
The Iron Bull of Strixhaven.
It's not gonna. Sounds like it's not gonna be easy.
So you're saying he's gonna be hard to stop?
Based on the information that I've been given, the armor that he has created around him is his own personal creation, one that he has been perfecting for quite some time to protect him in his more vulnerable state. I do not know the condition of the individual within the armor, but his actions make his intentions more than enough clear. He does not like people that stand over him, and when they do, he brings them down to his level.
You know, is the armor of is it of a mechanical nature or is it magically enhanced? As far as you know.
Would I have any
Last
information on
I
this as I was close
You would
enough?
know. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Last time you checked, it was mostly mechanical.
Yeah.
Apart from a few enchantment-like runes that you had seen on the outer shell.
So from my
However, if you would believe that the title is leveled with some matter of truth, and this is someone who's originally from Strixhaven, then they would know a fair amount of magic as well.
Be a tough nut to crack.
So I don't know again if you guys remember, but we encountered this individual and I actually helped repair him whenever I just thought he was a mechanical wonder. Um yeah, before I've learned of him in more depth. So yes, the armor is more mechanical, ruined, slightly magical in some places. If this title's correct, we probably have to go with some level of deception to get close enough reminisce about back at the ship, get some distance into them, and then it's gonna have to be a quick takedown, prevent, lock down the hands, stop any verbal semantic things, entire lockdown to make sure that nothing happens, and then restrain the target.
Sure. Sorry, where do we meet him in respite? Drawing a
You know,
blank.
um,
It
I
wasn't the
can.
ship on the way back from Anikotal to Zanizo as Daisy comes down the stairs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Over here.
Okay. I mean, I've got the net. If we can get him, put him on his ass, that might be beneficial.
I only heard the end of the conversation, but yes, I can silence said man so he can't do semantic.
Yeah,
It'll obviously silence
pretty
all of
likely.
us, but we have Vrek and Vanon's telepathy, so we should be fine.
Sure. Yeah, Harry's right. We need to hit him hard and fast, and as quietly as possible. I'd assume too, if he's in Haven.
He trusted me enough to get close enough to him to help repair him. I can hopefully use that to get close again, pull attention,
Okay.
and then hopefully subdue him. Whatever Professor's father's name is, I feel like I've heard it, but Professor's
Roger.
father, Roger.
Roger Howard.
When, where was this person last sighted? You know.
You'll see him quickly scrounging through some nearby papers as if he's trying to remember the last time that he saw. He'll rush over to another stack before eventually rushing over to the couch, where large piles of parchments are currently placed down until he will eventually pull a piece of parchment from a stack, carefully balancing so it doesn't fall over before placing it down onto the dining room table.
Paperwork Jenga, my favorite game.
You do see what seems to be mostly written in Infernal, a wanted like poster. However, the same detailing description of a armored individual in a nautical like suit, as if a deep diver armored suit. You'll see that the eyes themselves have an almost reddish like glow to them. And you'll see directly above wanted dead or alive in Infernal. And you'll see
Well, I wouldn't say I just see
underneath
Infernal.
a certain amount. Yeah, you'll just see Infernal, but you'll see as well underneath a total of what seems to be 3,000 of whatever currency they may be handing.
Okay. So I look at the poster, kind of blink like twice. Do you need this wanted poster still by chance?
No, you're free to take it, my friend.
I appreciate it. And I'll roll it up and tuck it inside my jacket.
Of course. Now, anything else I can help you with?
Yes. So you said my mom disappeared, right? You haven't
Yeah.
seen her since. You want to know where she is?
I'm free for surprises, my dear Morales.
Second layer of hell. The Iron City.
You see him gently tap the edge of the table at that mention.
Is that right?
Yes, and I have a feeling it's all Vidalis' fault. Those bastards. I'm also quite
Vidalis.
sure that the Vidalis family is in league with the Zentarum. There wouldn't be no
Vidalis.
reason for them not to be in league.
The name Vidalis. That was the one that I couldn't remember. That was the third name of the coven that had been made here. Amorales, Vidalis, and the last. The local name. But
It
I
was
have not
Twin
seen your
Tay, right?
mother. Twente, yes.
Mm.
Twente, Amorales, and Vidalis. I will say, I have not seen your mother, but Vidalis, I have seen her. She still walks and converses with the first princess on occasion.
Daisy sighs and under her breath says, "If only I could burn the city to the ground." Well, if my assumptions are correct, knowing that bitch, she's most than likely in league with the local Zentarum, and she may be the proxy that relays to Twin Tay his orders, and then Twin Tay relays it to the princess. I have a way to find this out, but I would need you to be able to dispel some things if you can.
And what is that?
I lay my backpack on the table. Using the Jade extender, I pull out the box, and only the box that is closed right now. Inside this box are books with all the names. Well, not all the names, but of each book of each of the factions in Essrena. Inside these books are countless names, and I pull out the Emerald Enclave one, which didn't have anything on it to show him the example.
Mm-hmm.
This one was thankfully free of any magics. But as you can see, their names. Their names are circled, crossed out. The list goes on and on. So if we want to check it out and confirm that Vidalis is in league with the Zentarum, then all we have to do is look at the Zentarum's book that's inside this coffer.
You see, he is very, very intrigued at the mention of this, staring
Of
towards the
course he
book.
would be.
You see his hands, the fingers pursing over each other, his head resting on top, giving a very quizzical, long look towards them.
And if you don't mind me asking, what happens, dare I say, if you should touch one of these books without, of course, express permission?
Well, let's just say a poor monkey once touched one and they grew a bunch of boils and poxes and then died.
I see.
He will beckon you to place down the box.
I place it and step away. Also, I ask
Will
Vannon back
step
for my shield.
forwards, and is going to start inspecting it over. Will pull out what seems to be a small magnifying glass from his inside pocket, and will start inspecting over the box. You'll see his eyebrow perk up.
Goodness me, so many enchantments, so many ways to die by this thing. Goodness me!
And you'll start hearing him chuckling under his breath as he's continuing to inspect it.
You do find the strangest things, don't you, you lot?
And you'll turn around, giving a wild smile towards the lot of you.
We try.
No. Let's see. Ah, yes. Rudiger, my dear boy. I
Yes,
do
sir.
believe that there might be some quicksilver and a little bit of electrum upstairs. Do you mind getting it for me?
Yeah. I'll head toward the stairs.
You rush upstairs, making your way up. You do find your father's office currently open. On the desk, you do find litterings of multiple scrolls and books. What seems to be the familiar set of leather armor that he's always wearing is currently resting in a display case on the side. A small scimitar that is mostly a family heirloom, displaying small hints of magical shimmering enchantment and energy from the inside of the platinum-esque blade. Seems to rest at the side.
Do
You've
I see
seen
him
him
use that scimitar ever? Like, does he ever have it like in a scabbard at his side or anything, or is it
only
mainly
when he's come back from work,
okay?
but never on like common occurrences. He only wears that when he's actually working.
Sure. What is a
Uh,
scimitar classed as? Like mechanic? Is it longsword, short sword?
uh, usually it's classified as his own thing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, it's yeah. Okay, okay. Is it? It's no, it's not a. Have like the heavy or finesse property.
Let me double check real quick.
I'm just curious if I would be interested in wheeling it. Basically,
Technically, you could. Let me see. Scimitar. A scimitar is. It is a finesse and a light weapon.
oh, and light. Yeah, I'm thinking okay. Scimitar, I think like a huge like curved blade. You know that's
Yeah,
really okay.
it's a D6 in
Alright,
damage. Slashing damage, martial weapon. But you can use either Dex or Strength whenever using it.
okay. I'll rummage around for the. We need Quicksilver and what else do you ask for?
A piece of Electrum.
Yeah, look for Quicksilver and the Electrum.
You will find it on his desk, currently resting in a small coin collection tray on the side. You take two of the coins that are usually needed for this particular form of enchantment that he's currently about to cast. As you do know that this is essentially a much higher form of identify that is
Sure.
essentially meant to either discover curses, should there be any hidden forms of them.
Yeah, I think it's cursed.
Uh, and as you see, eventually do come back down, he will retrieve the coins from you.
Thank you, my dear boy. Just take a few steps back if you don't mind.
No problem. Yeah, it does. Let's backpedal a bit.
Standard business as always, and you'll see him rubbing the two coins together, quietly whispering a few words between the palms as you do see a small jolt of purplish, like arcane energy form between his hands. As you see him slowly spread, you'll see the energy begin to spread and grow around before creating a small bubble of purplish energy that will wrap around the box of tomes for a moment. You'll see that the piece of electrum and a piece of quicksilver have disappeared and have been consumed, as you'll see the energy continue to maintain for a moment, creating a small purplish like shell before eventually you see small cracks beginning to break and slowly, like a eggshell, will finally break open and you'll see the box of tomes clatter down and one of the tomes seem to fall out, unlike the standard that you'd seen before when the books had stayed in their original position.
Good.
I do believe that the worst of the curses have been removed. However, any remaining forms of enchantment that should protect the names, I do believe will still be there. That might save some time.
You'll see him step forwards, looking down at the five books, will halt for a moment over the black book with the Zentarum sigil for a moment, curiously wishing to open it, will instead actually move his hand over to the Lord's Alliance and will pick that up instead.
I look at him and go, "May I ask why the Lord's Alliance?"
Of all these people, I would at least want to know that the people that protect my home are the ones that are trustworthy. The Lord's Alliance are for the people. I would like to know if the people are protected.
I agree. Go ahead. Find the information you
Uh,
seek.
he will begin to scour through some of the pages, allowing you to check through for yourself. You do see all the other 4 books that you can see. The pale one for the Order of the Gauntlet. You'll see the green one for the Emerald Enclave. The silver and blue for the HDM. The purple for the Harpers, and the black for the Zentarum.
They are no longer cursed, right? So we can just grab them freely.
Indeed.
Okay, I'll toss the HDM one to Harry. Have a raid.
Taking a skim over it.
And I will look for Vidalis in the Zentarum.
Okay. Is there anyone wanting to take a look in the Order of the Gauntlet or the Emerald Enclave?
No, Daisy
Or the
might be
Harpers,
interested
actually.
too.
I did the Emerald Enclave.
You did the Emerald
Okay.
Enclave? Okay.
Yeah, I did that a while ago.
Yeah. You got a few names. Let's see. Harry, looking through the HDM, you will find that there has been a few names that have been crossed out. You will find that Olive's name has also been crossed out.
What's the date?
You will find that a lot of the members that you've traveled with, all of their names are either blank and remain unchecked. You'll find that there is 0 signs of members being starred as if they have been transferred over. So there does not seem to be any members of the HDM that have been turned into Zentarum agents at this moment in time. However, you will find that there are 4 names that are currently circled. You will find that Racket Pirate Hunter is circled. Roguish is also circled. Tobin Granite Hand is circled.
You're just pulling on my heartstrings.
Harry Harrington is
God
circled.
dang it.
My boy.
Looking over, you will find that Terra had a circle but was erased. As if there was a possible suggestion towards her, but was immediately erased afterwards. You will find that Olive's name was circled, but was crossed out.
So then, circle means person of interest, crossed out means they're dead, and then the star means they're a double agent?
They've been converted. At least from what you assume.
Okay.
You know that the star ones have never been crossed out. The star ones are always left blank, essentially, except for a small star on the side.
How many stars are there on the HDM list?
How many stars are there? None.
They clean as fuck, bro.
Squeaky.
You will find that actually there is one. There is one, but it's crossed out. There is one that's been crossed out. And you will find that the name is Hobhoblins.
Oh, it's the goblin we killed, right?
You would remember a particular goblin that had taken the original Cricket 1.0 as a giant cannon, that was causing
Yeah.
chaos nearby
Yeah.
respite that you had originally hunted down for the HDM. And they had apparently betrayed the HDM by stealing equipment for unknown means. But that was starred but crossed out. Apart from that, seems relatively clean, but you do see that your name, Olive's name, was circled, as well as Tobin Granite Hand, Roguish, and Racket Pyre Hunter.
It's interesting that I made it to that level of circling with those guys. But hey,
Interesting guy.
I don't think I'm that interested.
I
Hit
just
things
want to
with a
get to
hammer.
know you.
I hit things with hammers and bullets. That's all I do.
Hammer time and gun time. That's all you know, man.
You're a person of interest. I wonder why. Currently spying on you for the last few months. So, Daisy, you are running through the Zentarum book.
Yes, which I imagine has a different playbook for the
Us.
stars.
Are they all stars?
Okay,
I know, right?
so as you open the Zentarum book, what you see is a list of names. However, you will see what seems to be either crossed out or have certain numbers placed next to them.
Damn it, Mason, what did they mean?
Priority.
You'll find that so you'll find that through the list of names in the Zentarum book, either crossed out or placed with numbers listing from 1 to 4 is designated next to each name. You will find that each of the names on the list are also designated under a name of a location. However, each of the locations seem to be under some form of code.
All right. For now, look for the last name Vidalis.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check, please.
Can I guidance myself?
Sure.
Investigation. Shit.
Looking through
13.
the book, you are able to look through, trying to see if there's any familiarity to some of the names. As you're flicking through to some of the last few pages, you'll find a title with something that looks relatively familiar to the same structure as Estera. And you'll see that there are 3 names littered underneath Estera, and one of which is indeed the one you're looking for.
I smack the table. I'm like, I hate being right.
You will find that she is indeed listed under there, with the number 4 resting next to her.
What about the other two names?
The other 2
Mhm.
is one. Okay, here we go. You'll find there is one First General Khan Vigad.
Can you write that out?
Yes. First General Khan Vigad.
All right.
And the Crow's Talon.
So that's the name, Crow's Talon. That's it. All right. So I'll look over at Tullius in his form and go, you know, First General Khan Vagar or Crow's Talon?
At the moment that you mention the first General Khan Vigar, the half elves' hands will tense.
Sorry to say. And I look at Professor Howard as well. They have control of the army.
You'll see Tullius immediately walking to the side and will whisper curses in Infernal.
Oh, by the way, what are the numbers on next to each of them?
Both of them are 4.
Alright.
Actually, no. First General Khan Vigar, 3. The Crow's Talon, 4. Oh, you're. I hate that last name. Sorry, I keep blanking on it. Your girl, 4. Your
Yeah.
target,
Yeah, Vidalis.
Vidalis. Thank you, Lady Vidalis, 4.
Bro, I swear the deeper I dig, the more conspiracies I find. Is this what Olive felt like? Just uncovering never ending rabbit hole?
Yes, welcome. So as you open the page and find the 3 names there, you'll see Tullius moving to the side, whispering curses that even to you, Dune, you're thinking, holy shit, this is a bit vulgar coming from a father.
Just give him
um,
the side eyes, like, ugh.
as eventually he will look over towards you, Daisy.
He was my second in command.
Ah, shit. Oh, God. It just gets worse.
You'll see him tense up for a moment.
I know I shouldn't have trusted the son of a bitch. The main reason why I'm in this mess. So be it. If he needs to be put on a spike, so be it.
Just looks over towards you, Daisy.
So the real question is, how do we get 2 parasites away from the first princess's ear? 1, my home. 2nd, a general. Especially the harder one's gonna be the general, because you're a nation at war, and she's the war princess.
She is the war princess. And with the second princess inside of the war, she has the full power. The only one that could possibly cause her to have some form of loss of that particular power is the third princess herself. And she is missing.
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyways, Howard, how goes it? You find anything interesting in the Lord's Alliance?
He is carefully placing down a few names onto a small piece of parchment. Looks up towards you.
Currently taking a debriefing as we speak. A few names that catch my attention. A few that seem to have caught the Zentarim's attention, which I will be taking notice and making them well aware of their current situation, so they will be relocated as I deem fit.
Right. Now that he says that, I'm gonna look over the Harper's one. I want to see the circled names and the starred names.
Okay.
I'm gonna thumb through that Zentarum one after Daisy puts it down. Just if anything
Yeah,
pops, any names I
have fun.
recognize or anything. Thank you.
Yeah, Daisy, I'm just gonna say the moment that you open the Hopper book, you will find that the names on there, a majority of them are either circled, crossed out, or are not displaying anything at the moment. No stars from what you can see so far.
Oh, thank God. No stars. That's good.
However, a more trained eye, you can see that there have been adjustments on the pieces of parchment.
Ooh, I want to see if any was adjusted for stars.
Roll me an investigation or perception check, please. Let's see. Professor, roll me investigation, please.
I'm also gonna guidance. Also, Vanen, can I have my shield back, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I will say this though, Daisy.
Mm.
One thing that will be of notice
Mhm.
is that there is no signs of any royalty uh or any nobility in the empire except for Miss Vidalis, of Lady Vidalis, that is currently in Estera.
All right.
Take that information as you will. Professor, scouring through the names, it's a lot of names, a lot of which are crossed out, and a lot of which you don't really recognize.
Okay.
But no one of particular note that really catches your attention flicking through it.
Okay.
It's just a large number of names, and it's kind of like, oh, that's an interesting name. Oh, that's an interesting name. Oh, that's a very interesting name. But there's no names that really catch your attention.
Okay.
That's a lot of names.
Let's see. And you're going through the hoppers, checking to see if they
Yeah, 25 total, I believe.
25 total. You will find that Valtine has been circled multiple times and been crossed out multiple times. You will find that that seems to be the case for a lot of the higher ranking individuals of the Harpers. Is you'll find that a lot of the parchment has been shifted and changed due to the fact that names have been crossed out and then erased to be rewritten, due to the fact that the Hoppers are well known to very easily move in and out of the public circle. And in many cases, you would believe that the Harpers have gotten away with cheating death more than once, to the point that the Zentarum have had to replace names to essentially make sure that the list is still updated. You will, however, find that there is one name that did have a star, but was erased, but is not crossed out.
What would that be?
Porky.
No
No,
way.
no, not Porky. Oh, Porky, why?
Poor Porky.
And you'll see that there was a star next to the name that has been erased. And you'll find that indeed Porky's name has been circled and crossed out multiple times, but is now currently circled, unstarred, and left uncrossed out. So he's still alive, but still a person of interest.
Yeah, we did meet him.
Hmm.
Makes sense. All right.
Just for note, Porky's the main receptionist guy that was at the stadium.
Yeah, I know.
Great fella.
That's
Great
why I'm like,
fella. I like
shit,
him.
not Porky.
So
shoot.
that's really all of the names that really catch your attention.
Okay. You know
And it's
what?
gonna start killing people.
Since no one's done Order of the Gauntlet, I'll do Order of the Gauntlet, and then after I'm done with the Order of the Gauntlet, I'll redo the Emerald Enclave, looking specifically for stars.
Van is going to borrow the Zentarum one.
Okay.
I'll pass over, bro.
Doon's just looking.
Okay.
Cool names in there,
Daisy.
man. Check it out.
Roll me an investigation check, please, or perception.
Okay, and
Vannon,
guidance.
are you looking for something in this book? And if you're wanting to keep it secret, go ahead and send me the message.
Secret? Daisy keeping secrets? No.
Secret
No,
coming.
he means Vannon.
I refuse to believe it.
It means Vannon. Daisy,
Mm-hmm.
23?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Got it, Vannon. Got it. I will answer that for you now, Vannon. All are accounted for. None crossed out.
Everyone will see it kind of a confused, not so much confused, but uneasy look on Van's face.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't sound reassuring.
Yeah, I don't even have to
just for
think that's a
notes.
lie.
Just for notes. The names that you do see
Did Rob die?
Nope, I'm sending him stuff.
Okay.
Uh these are the one accounted for. Vannon. And all of them are in the area.
Ew.
There is no sign of these two yet. They are not accounted for.
The profession of that last one was kind of interesting.
It was a very distinctful inspiration between you and her. That there was a slight fascination which does inspire a lot of your now work. um, so the first ones are nearby, the other ones are not at this moment in time. And you will notice, actually, this you will notice as you are looking between these books. Those that are looking through the books, you will see that every now and then a name will move and shift to another page, which does make it relatively long for you to track each and every one of these names, because every now and then you'll see a name move over, causing the list to shift over and eventually realign itself. You would believe those that have a reasonably high intelligence or practitioner in the arcane that these names are moving due to the location of their beholder.
Makes sense.
And for note, Vannon, you'll find that the first ones are either in Avin or Estera. The other ones are currently in Windspear.
Hmm. Hmm?
Hmm.
Hmm.
that second one was a oh.
Oh.
That second one was a oh, okay, interesting.
You caught him off guard.
I did. Okay. Daisy, looking
Ye-
through the Order of the Gauntlet.
Yep, looking for those stars.
2 stars.
2 stars.
You'll find 2 names throughout the entirety of the list.
Oh.
One of which they are in 2 separate locations. One is one Sir Reginald Dorncrest,
All right.
and the other is Lord Hagen.
Lord, why does that
Lord
name sound familiar?
Hagen. Hold on, give me a moment.
Why
Um,
Hagen?
I'm
Lord
thinking Hagen.
Hagen.
Uh,
Oh my god. Where are you? Okay, there you are. Lord Hagen Silvertoe.
Savage, it is him.
I knew it.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, look, Professor, your buddy was part of the Zentarum and the Order of the Gauntlet.
Silvertoe.
Yeah, I see how he came up with the Nine Tails.
I have to love that
Alright.
nickname. Nine Toes. That's funny.
Yeah, and see, since his name is encircled, I mean, crossed out, still alive, just petrified. So that confirms our suspicion.
There's a lot of names.
Eh. Well, I bet Olive would have been interested in this entire thing we're doing.
I'm sure
There
she would, because I have
are
no idea what's going on.
for note as well, Daisy, with that 23, there are maybe a good, I'd say 90% of the listed names in the Order of the Gauntlet have circles around them. The other remaining ones are crossed out. However, with the 23 perception, you will find that there seems to be an entire battalion of names that seems to have a full circle around it. And you can see that there's a battalion of around 48 members.
Does it have like the name or just all the members in one column?
You can see that there is a name directly above it called the Twilight Charge.
All right. Right.
And you can
Let's-
see the leading captain of that battalion is one Barristan the Rampant Charge Canisto.
He's the leader of the order.
You do remember a centaur-like individual, heavily armored, that was leading the battalion of the Order of the Gauntlet into this particular faction. And you would know that his squadron is indeed called the Twilight Charge. It seems that his battalion is on a very high priority list for whatever this is.
All right. And then yeah, I'll finally move on to the enclave.
I believe I've covered a lot of the names already.
Yeah, we did the circled, not
Yeah.
the stars. I think.
The stars. Roll me a perception or investigation check, please.
All right, I will guidance again. 26.
Nice.
Just what you needed.
Ooh.
You will look over the pages, flicking through all of them, and you'll find that even though you are expecting to see stars across the names of the Emerald Enclave, no stars across the main members. However, as you turn to the final front page, you will find a singular star directed over the main front member of one Dakari the Ashen Grove Symbitarian.
I flipped the book over to Howard. I swear I'm not crazy, and I swear Olive wasn't crazy either.
You think there'd be any way to for someone to remove or edit their name in that book?
Probably, assuming these are copies, probably in the main version of the book.
So there is no promise to say that the fact that the Ashen Grove could have been turned turncoat. However, I will not leave this information unattended to. I will pass this along to the right hands and to the right minds, to the right ears.
Yes, as it stands, factions that are 100% trustworthy are the Order, the HDM, and the Harpers. I don't know if you found any in the Lord's Alliance, but obviously Emerald Enclave, the fact that their leader is the one that's corrupt, then yes.
Reagan Firescale is completely innocent, if you'll ask him. He is a major person of interest. Supposedly, his name has been crossed out multiple times, but has been once again rewritten. Few members of his respective council have also been crossed out but rewritten, and also circled, but no stars. One reasonably high-ranking officer has been found to have been starred, and I've already passed that information along to the respective authorities. So we'll be locating this individual of the Lord's Alliance and relocating him to a nice cell within Windspear. The other
Alright.
smaller, lower rankings of the Lord's Alliance are just mere squabbles that we can easily pack up and send to a different location that is not exactly of major importance. But I do believe that we can weed out the darker edges.
Indeed. I'll be passing along this information to my boss right now. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Yes.
this is big.
You'll see him quickly step aside, adjusting his glasses. Will look over towards you, Rudiger.
Excuse me for a moment, dear boy. Business as always, busy as always. Please make yourself comfortable. I'll be back down in a moment.
All right.
And you'll see him rushing upstairs, the sound of his office door being closed, and you can only assume that he's currently making messages and sending calls.
Yeah. So just to
Okay.
make it short, I'll obviously call Valtine, tell her all the names, circle the ones that I already had, and they started.
She will appear through the mirrored glass, look over, will take in the information, writing down notes, will rise an eyebrow at the mention of Dakari having a star next to him, but will shake her head as if dismissing the previous notes of her own mental note taking before she will nod. Thank you, my dear. I will greatly appreciate this information. I will do what I can on my end, see what we can do in regards to the Ashen Grow's influence within Windspear. However, I will try and do it while unnoticed. In regards to the people of my influence, as well as any particular members that we are able to discover within Windspear, we will quickly gather them up.
Yes, as I told Professor Howard, as it feels right now, the most trustworthy lot is everyone but the Emerald Enclave.
I sadly would have to agree. It also says, based on information that you're giving me, that there might be some influence still in Windspear, including the Zentara.
Yes, there are names there, but it'd be too long to tell you.
I'll discuss matters with the other faction members, see if we can possibly talk to the stockholders to possibly hold an investigation up towards the north. However, given the fact that the Emerald Enclave basically have the borders of the Zentarum, it will be a lot of red tape, or should I say green vines, to break through before we are able to pass through the borders. Especially given that it's possible that the Ashen Grow's ear is currently being spoken to and whispered by worm-like whispers. So, for now, I will do what I can. You will do what you can on your end, and I will entrust you to do what you do best.
Indeed. See you
If you
around.
have, yes, if you have any further information, please do call. I will keep the chime open for you. But in the meantime, I have work to do. And she'll quickly write down the last into her notes, quickly close her tome, and lift herself out of the desk. You'll see her flick the chime next to the mirror, causing your reflective surface to turn back to the mirror inside your locket.
Mm-hmm.
At this moment in time, it is round a good evening as you do see the darkness beginning to grow on the outside windows. You are currently inside. There is still some hot pots on the dining room table, should any of you wish to find some food.
Absolutely.
The kitchen is
Might as
also
well.
available too, it seems. There's a small living area with a small matter of books and a small fireplace, as well as a few set of playing cards and chess. However, you are free to do as you wish at this moment in time.
Yeah, I'm eating. I'm eating.
Yeah, I'll grab some food too.
Uh, Professor, you would go over to essentially try some of the hot pot that your father was trying. However, Dune seems to have already picked up the pot and already started to scarf it down as you're like, okay, turning around, making your way
You know.
towards the kitchen. You much prefer making your own food, anyways.
Yeah, I'm actually in the mood for a sandwich. On second thought.
You sure you don't want none? I might can
Oh, no,
spread a
no,
little
you
bit.
go ahead,
You
dude.
look back, there's like smearings of like small bits of like beef chunks and potatoes, thick tomato sauce currently dripping down the furry face of Dune as he looks over towards you. Just small, eventually slapping down against the ground.
I gotta
Beautiful.
say, even though I'm not used to fancy food, this is it's great.
Yeah, look like you like it.
Yeah, I'm used to spit roasting a leg on a fire or something. This is, and I just go back to eating. I'm starving.
You do
No
find
spoon, no forks or nothing. Just completely just drinking it.
Sure.
I
you
don't. I
do
don't. I don't.
find the need for any makings of a sandwich within the kitchen, and you are able to make yourself a meal.
Nice.
Uh, you will find for notes outside of the front door, the guard is still waiting at attention outside of the front door. Even as night seems to be falling, he still seems to be holding his post.
Are you gonna stand out here all night? You got
Uh,
relief coming, buddy?
you open the front door and you do see the helmeted royal guard will turn towards you.
Yes, sir. I have been told to escort you to wherever you may need within the second ring. If you
Okay.
are wishing to leave the confines of your father's establishment for any reason, I will be joining you.
Okay. I mean, it appears we may be sleeping here tonight. Are you hungry? Do you want a sandwich? I say as I take a bite of my sandwich.
He'll look at your sandwich for a moment, and you do see him like staring at the sandwich through the grated bars of his helmet, as he will just give a slight nod of,
That would be much appreciated, sir.
Yeah, I'll go in and make him a sandwich too. Maybe like there's any kegs of ale that are tapped. I'll get him a mug of ale too. Back out.
yeah, he will. You do find that your father does indeed have his usual stash of decent as well as party liquor that is meant to share. As you do find what seems to be a reasonably sized keg in the back larder, and break it open to eventually pour out a few cups and tankards of ale. You are able to hand one over to the royal guard, who will graciously take the sandwich and the drink. Will look around. Eventually, will find a stool from a nearby uh, shop and will sit himself down on the outside of the building.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy. I'll probably see you in the morning.
Yes, sir. See you in the morning.
And he's just gonna sit down on the stool and enjoy his sandwich and drink.
Hell yeah. Let's go back inside. Maybe a comfy spot on a couch or something. Just kind of sit, relax.
Is there anyone that actually wishes to leave the establishment at this moment in time?
No.
Nah, I'm eating all the food in the house. It's no big deal.
Honestly, I would ask Reg and Harry if the next day they want to go shopping for ores.
I don't need ores. We have a
What do you
ship.
mean? There's a not that type of ores, the cannon rock type.
Oh, I have
Yes, they
cannon rock.
probably have all. Well, I mean the other variety, the non-cannon rock. You know, warpine, all that stuff. Things you usually won't find back home.
I could go for some samples.
All right, and tomorrow we set out.
Have a couple days to kill.
Yeah, hopefully he does it in 2 days.
After an hour or so, the professor's father will come out of his office, will carefully step his way down, will stop as he, at the last step, will look over towards the rampaging sounds of scarfing food from the inside of the kitchen, will look over towards the group, take account of who's missing, and just sigh heavily before he will look over.
The big one's currently rampaging through the parlor, isn't he?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hot pot you
I
had put
will
out.
restock in the morning.
You'll need it. You'll need it.
Yes, so sorry that I am unable to provide dinner to all of you.
Gives a side glance to the kitchen.
However, I am been able to send the appropriate messages to the authorities within Windspear involving the Lord's Alliance. The higher ranking individual who seemed to have been stationed on the wall of the green has been quickly apprehended and seems to have followed along with proceedings and has not been fighting the rest so far. However, the other members seem to have been carefully accounted for and will be tracked down soon, I would hope. In regards to any other situations here,
And he'll look over towards you, Daisy.
I do believe that I might possibly be able to allow you an audience.
With?
He'll look around for a moment.
You want to go to your
Apparently,
office?
yes, if you don't mind.
All right. I head up.
You out of the kitchen here. Oh, this mutton's delicious.
Add some salt to it. You'll enjoy it more.
Don't actually eat the bags of salt. You're supposed to sprinkle it on top of stuff.
And he's just going to call out before making his way up the stairs.
I'll show him how to do it, Daisy. Come here.
Daisy?
Yep.
Going up the stairs and leading you to the office. We'll be right back.
Your poor dad.
No one has I know I already asked this, but no one has an open attunement slot, right?
Negative.
I don't.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna start changing my infusions to be non-attuned. One of them's gonna be fun. If we ever use it, I'm gonna lose my mind. But
I'm excited to see what it is. Maybe.
it has a 5% chance to work.
Something.
So if it ever works,
0%.
because like I can do homunculus servant, but I technically have a familiar which does the same thing. Nobody uses the spell refueling ring, repeating shot, enhanced defense. It's all attunement. I don't get anything really good until I hit level 10. But since I took one in lock, I'm a level behind.
gotten quite a large amount of experience lately? Is it Drek doesn't have enough? Or you might be close.
I took a level in Warlock, so my Artificer level is 1 more.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So. Oh, that doesn't require attunement. Of course, I message him and he goes AFK. So we've just been getting into the city.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Nothing crazy happened.
No.
Or there's a lot of druggies
think-
and poor people, but
I think Rudiger guy's coin purse stolen.
the irony, love it.
Right.
So I found a nifty little website, Hectic, that is an interactive that has interactive hunt maps.
Ooh.
So I was really finding it difficult to make the building, but then I found this hunt map. I'm like, ooh, that's nice. Because now I have exact size and shape of the border. I just have to fill in the details.
Mm-hmm. I'm still having trouble with NPCs right now.
Like, I'll just give you a quick screen grab.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is amazing because then I can just superimpose this in like Incarnate and then build off that.
That's awesome.
Right? So. And I took a lot of in-game screenshots, so I just have to, I just can build it out basically.
Gotcha.
So I don't know when I'll be able to do it, but
take your time, man. It's like nothing in a rush or anything. I'm almost done working on stuff, but I still got stuff to work on too.
Yeah.
So that idea isn't mine. I just don't know how I want to create them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So did they dispel our disguises at the gate?
No, I stepped in and stopped it before they searched
Yeah.
you or Tullius.
Nice.
The order the people got searched was really beneficial too, because you two were the last two.
Sometimes the dice tell the story.
Certainly do. Yeah, we're kind of discussing it, but I honestly think if it came down to it, Vrek would have been easier to explain and talk our way out of than Tullius. Tullius is wanted, and at the very least, I could play it off like, oh yeah, he's my bodyguard. Obviously, he's a giant bug man. He's a traveling incognito kind of thing.
Yeah, because I think my people aren't up here. I don't think they know of the Thrycreen up here.
Sure.
I think we're a bunch of Southerners. But
I guess hopefully for Vrek, they're not up here, right? Or would it be like a different hive?
it's a different hive, yeah, if they are.
Okay.
But yeah, so um, yeah, I could easily. Mine would have been a lot easier to convince them. It's like, yeah, he's traveling in disguise because he didn't want something like this to happen.
Yes, yeah, because I was as we were getting searched, I was kind of running through our options, and I was like, Vrek, we could explain. Tullius, he's
That's
probably
all.
gonna get us all arrested.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of hard to explain yourself walking around with a known fugitive
Trying to get him sneaking past city
back
guard. Yeah.
into the place that he's the fugitive of.
Yes. Oh yeah, he meant to turn himself. Oh geez, yeah, he was just about to turn himself in. Glad you guys found him.
Yeah.
There is a fine amount of time, a good maybe 20 or so minutes of conversation that seems to happen upstairs in the office until eventually the sound of the door will open and the sound of footsteps seem to be leading down the stairs back to the main room where everyone is. Dune, by this time, you've gone through all of the cupboards and through most of the parlor, and you are currently getting through the remains of what seems to be some hazelnut cookies, which seem to be the last things in the parlor.
And I love sweets.
The one thing that you will notice, Professor, is that the jar that he's pulling them from specifically has a big H on the front of it, which you know to be your father's.
Sure. Oh God.
As
Dude.
you'll know that your father's favorite treats is hazelnut cookies.
Dune, save a couple of those, please.
One. How many? Two for who?
Like looking at the
Dune,
jar. How many-
you look down and you've taken the last cookie out of the jar, and you're holding it.
I could save this
Oh my
one. If
God.
you
Deer
really
in
want me
headlights.
to.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it'd be nice if we did, but at this point, it one is probably just as
Sorry,
bad
am
as
I
next.
interrupting something here?
You'll see him stepping forwards from the staircase, following Daisy down.
um. So
Interrupting dinner or food.
yes,
Oh,
Bring us up.
sorry. Yes. I do
everything
apologize.
is gone in the kitchen. I'm afraid.
Oh, that's fine. I'm sure he didn't get that deep into it.
He. Uh,
Dune, Dune, roll me a sleight of hand check, please.
Okay.
God, here
Like
we
how we're all
go.
just peeking into the kitchen, seeing Dune just going feral on there.
It's on his head.
Everyone will watch as Dune has indeed started to put his head inside of the jar to get any remains of crumbs
Right.
from inside the cookie jar. As Professor, you'll see your father just looking over for a moment, tilts his head slightly of just, that's my damn jar.
Maybe he
Don't kill him.
maybe he can't read the
Before
letter
he
H
will
upside down.
sigh heavily.
Never mind. Apparently, he can get that deep into it.
Yeah, I'll try to get those replaced for you in the morning. Dad.
It's
Sorry.
fine. It's your mother's cooking. I'm sure she can make some more for me later.
Okay.
Anyways, so Daisy, you wish to continue this here?
Anything that is about to be said must not leave this room. Rather, this house.
Crunch into the cookie.
Sure. Right.
I look over towards Tullius. I'm like, Come on, we need to plan things out. It's better if, among friends and family, you can speak freely.
The blonde half elf will look over towards you, looks over towards Howard, lowers their head slightly.
I do believe that you are right.
And you'll see Howard stop for a moment, just take a step back of, hold on, that's not right, and will look over at Tullius's current magical form. You'll see him adjust his glasses for a moment before he will smile slightly.
An illusion. Fascinating.
We were hiding a fugitive.
Yeah, you see the
Yes,
voice
thank
really
you.
throws off the
Thank you for
form. It just
Excuse
takes
me,
away the
and
flow.
you'll see him take a step back, placing his hand onto a small wand that currently is resting to the
No,
side.
just don't
As you
worry
see
about it.
Tullius hold his hands up, carefully lifting his hand up to his head, where you'd see him grasping onto the blonde hair before lifting it up, and the illusion is pulled away as the cap is removed, displaying Tullius's full Cambion form.
I'd go, Roger, I'd like you to introduce you to Tullius, former general of this fine nation.
You'll see Howard look over for a moment, give a slight nod.
General Tullius Avani. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Been a while.
You'll see Tullius give a long nod.
Indeed it has been, sir.
Let's
Just really
see.
quick, is
Uh,
Tullius' son still a sheep as of right now?
no,
He's not.
Tullius'
Oh,
son
it's
is
the
not
kid.
here.
Yeah, okay. All right.
You taught how to swindle people. Come on, man.
Yeah. I just couldn't. I was kind of jumbled on like the orders. Should have.
Tullius will look over for a moment before finally taking a place at the table and sitting himself down.
So yeah, everything I currently know about the situation here is thanks to Tullius. Since you were curious.
Howard will look over towards Tullius, will give a slight nod.
That makes fair sense, I'd say. Yes.
You'll see Tullius give a long, stow-cold look towards the professor. Towards your father.
Oh,
Towards
sorry.
Howard. As Howard will carefully nod.
Didn't go so well, did it?
Tullius will shake his head slowly.
I do apologize for that.
So how do you both know each other?
I voted that we should have killed him.
Might have been wise if you kept to your original plan and not doing so.
You'll see Tullius look over towards Daisy.
Politics, as always.
As you'll see Howard give a slight nod slowly.
I have been on the council for quite some time. I've been here for over a year. And around 8 months ago, or something of that matter, I had approved of a certain measurement to allow the regiment that our good general here to partake in some form of excursion towards the north that the war princess had approved of. I was unaware of the fact that
and you'll see Tullius look over towards him.
That you were sending us to our deaths. Yes. You could say that.
You'll see the professor sit down on the other side of the table.
I was not aware of that. If I had known, then I would never have approved of it. Neither would have the Council of the Empire. And you should have known that, Tullius.
Tullius says nothing.
Well, Roger Howard here said he is going to a meeting with the War Princess. He's invited me and other well-behaved members of our party to go. Now,
Rec just looks around.
You'll see Tullius clenching his fist, staring daggers towards Roger.
I intend to go. Now, it's better to plan ahead to see what you want me to discuss or plan to say to the War Princess. As we know, there is already a rat or two rats in that council. And I will have to be on my best performance to be able to persuade the War Princess. So I'd rather have time to prepare than no time at all. So that's why I want to talk this out as a group.
Sure.
Regardless of what this political pompous prick has to say, I will be joining you on this particular meeting.
You'll see Tullius look over towards you, Daisy.
And don't worry, I'll be on my best behavior.
It's best if you at least are well informed.
Howard will look over towards you, Adwin, just like, what the heck did I do? As he will just carefully shrug his shoulders. Look over his bowl of currently consumed hot pot.
Mm.
And we'll just place the spoon back into the bowl.
Oh, you know what? I'll go. Sure, why not? We got 12 of them. I'll go into the bag of holding and pull out one of those buns and give it to him. Try this. This is remarkably rejuvenating.
What are these buns?
The ones we got last session that give 15 max HP for 24 hours.
Oh, one of those. Okay,
Yeah,
got you.
they expire, so you might as well spread them around
Yes,
a little bit. We
okay.
got enough for us.
Yes, your father will indeed take one of them. Will give you like a nod of
Thank you, my dear boy. I am still quite famished, and
you'll see him taking a bite out of the muffin before we'll nod a moment.
oh, delightful.
And you'll see him just start consuming it.
Oh yeah,
Biting
those
after
people
bite.
I told you about, they can make those. So
Looks
wanna eat
over
more of
towards
those?
you. I want more. And he just looks over.
Then you
just
better
start taking a bite.
move some fingers, my man.
I'll see what I can do. And he just continues to start biting away at the muffin.
Oh, are
Aren't they
you
delicious?
you're trying to get him to let the others
Yes,
in? I take
I'm
it.
trying to
Yeah.
let the Tanivius family to come inside. Yes.
Thank you. I meant to bring that up. Completely slipped my mind.
Yes, it'd be preferable if they can operate from in here, especially since they have precious cargo.
You'll
So how-
see Tullius and Howard and Roger looking at you mention precious cargo.
So I look over and like,
Tullius, actually roll me an insight check.
23.
Talius is giving the indication of "Don't you dare," and Roger's giving you the look of "Go on."
I won't say anything more. I'll look at Tullius and say, "It's your call."
Talius will just look over at Roger, stone-faced, not saying a word. Roger will sigh heavily, shrug his shoulders.
I can't allow them in without knowing what this precious cargo is. So you need to give me the details before I can allow passage.
Talius will look over at you, Daisy. Roll me a persuasion check, Daisy.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Daisy doesn't persuade often, but she's actually very good at
Oh.
persuasion.
Yeah, she ain't bad.
Talius will nod eventually.
It has my son, as well as countless other noble members that will be amongst probably some of your Empire folk. So you might have some interest in them.
You'll see Roger frown at that, giving a slow nod.
I'll see what I can do.
Just so you're aware, it was not an easy thing to rescue. Because this was his entire operation.
He's a good
You'll
kid.
see him look over for a moment. Looks over towards you, Rudiger, as you say that.
Give me some time. I'll see what I can do.
You'll see him lift off of the table, rise up, makes his way to the staircase, will look over towards Talius.
Again, I apologize. If I'd known,
And you'll see Talius just shake his head.
it's in the past. Get on with the future, old man.
Professor will smile for a moment before making his way up the stairs.
Yes, the future. Towards the future, as always.
And at that, you hear the sound of the office door close, leaving you all in silence once again.
Does your dad have a middle name?
None that I wrote in. I can come up with one if you want. Is it Roger Howard? Let's say Roger Victor Howard.
Do you know people with 3 first names are statistically serial killers?
That's why I picked it. I wanted another first name.
What's that?
So, somebody who kills and murders a lot of people for no reason other than their own twisted gain. I hear humans do that a lot.
Oh yeah, it's
Well-
like frickin' the Vidalis bitch. She's one of them.
Does she
Frickin'
have 3
4
first
eyes.
names?
You know
Interesting
what?
observation.
Probably. Yes.
I got crumbs from the cookies. I'll make some.
Oh, that's what
Oh,
that's
if you could.
okay.
Yeah, that'd
You
be
confused
great,
me.
Rick.
I was very confused.
And I'm going to sit down and start studying the crumbs.
Okay.
Okay.
Such a relic thing to do.
Sorry, Vrek doesn't know how to act. Like, this.
No, that's great.
I know it feels like I'm being interjective and weird, but
No.
No, it's like Vrek's learning how to be human.
he's trying. He really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm intrigued by the way you're acting.
No, it's great because it's like, all of a sudden everything's serious and Vrek's like, excuse me, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Talius is going to move over to another chair, find himself a good place to rest for now. There are guest rooms upstairs for those that are wishing to have a more comfortable sleep. However, Professor, your father will be working throughout the night
Okay.
on whatever work he's doing in the office, allowing you guys to do whatever you wish for the rest of the night.
Okay. Is there anything on the docket right now? Are we good to crash out?
Well, the last thing I would say is there any information we want to bring up to the council meeting? Anything we want to let the War Princess know? Or are we holding all our cards to our chest?
Yeah, let's say what
Um,
needs to be said, kind of thing.
Because I would love to get a reaction out of Vidalis, to be honest. She's quite the handful. And given that she is an agent of the Zentarum, it would be wise, honestly, not to bring up any of our plans in that meeting. But I intend to try and make the War Princess see two things. One, to take off the martial law in Anikotal. And
Good.
secondly, try and make her see that enemies are closing in around her, yet she still focuses on a far weaker enemy. She's not worrying about the enemy within. That's my intention. I don't know if any of you have
Okay.
anything to add to that.
Yeah.
Well,
So wait.
speaking of that, I did bring this up earlier because there was the food is delicious. By the way, it was great. Anyway, probably not. This is just a random thing I thought about on the way in here. I was trying to make sure nobody was trying to bother us along with the other person.
Mhm.
But I noticed enough times I got some looks of recognition, like people knew me specifically.
You didn't
Don't
know
know
them?
why. No, like I would keep eyes on people, but then the little double back of like, oh, I know you, or well, recognition, whatever. I got not a lot, but enough to notice on the way here.
And you think they not just like they recognize your people, but they recognized you personally?
I think so. I mean,
That's
just how
that's
it seemed to
troubling.
me. I don't know
Well,
why. Just
well,
how it seemed to me.
I came prepared to, because I was planning to commune with Sil tonight, and I can ask him if there's any members of your pack and see if that's related.
So I get to ask him
I
around.
will tell. I seriously doubt that.
Well,
We
if it's
normally
not
say there was.
that, then it's definitely the Zentarum. And
Okay.
obviously, the Zentarum, at this point, they obviously know we are in the area, and more than likely, having taken this type of cargo from them, that we're in Astera. If it's Zentarum agents that saw us walk in, then all the more reason.
Do me a
Yeah,
Since
but
favor, Daisy.
why would they? Dune, did you see him looking at any of us?
No, I just wouldn't really pay attention to that. I just noticed that they looked at me with recognition. I was mostly trying to keep them away from stealing anything of
Sure.
ours.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be if it was Zentarum, they'd be looking for all of us, and not just Dune, right? Like, have you ever been on a wanted poster of any kind?
I mean, I don't think so, but
Okay,
I mean, mm,
it's hard to know for sure.
yeah. I mean, I don't
Yeah, I
think
could
anybody in my
try.
pack would be here. I mean,
Tomorrow I can try to find some information.
I appreciate that because that really bothered me because I'm a nobody really.
Yeah,
So the
no, it
fact
bothers
that
me too. There's really no
people in
reason anyone
Astera
here.
noticed me, it was just unsettling, to say the least.
I know, I get you.
Daisy, if you can talk to Sil tonight and you ask him about that, can you ask him if he knows anything about Carrick and what he's up to?
Commune only allows me to make yes or no questions.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It's not your usual chat with Sil.
Right.
It's more about other questions that should be more like I'm using my holy powers to ask a question. Usually in our free chats, he can be as obtuse as he wants.
Mm. Well, the only time I ever talked to him was in person one time. That's about it. But I kind of thought that's how y'all always talked.
Yeah, sometimes he's usually mostly in his squirrel farm. I would love to be a squirrel.
Mm.
But yeah,
Squirrel. That sounds good right now.
I get 3 questions, so I'll obviously be asking if the first one would be if there's any of your pack members within the first ring of Estira.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the response, if yes or no, I'll then ask, is there anyone who personally knows you that's in the first ring of Estira? And then the third one, I'll probably do it on the fly.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So
So,
you okay? Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. Because I
No,
was
no, no,
going
no.
to say, if you have anything that you're wishing to do tonight, that is what we will do, and that will be probably the end of session. So,
Sure.
you guys are starting to settle in.
Mm-hmm.
You are currently being guarded by the front door by the Royal Guard. The professor's dad is currently in his office working away. There are 5 guest rooms upstairs. There is the couch. There is a few nearby chairs that can be used for either sleeping or sitting. However, you also do hear that there is a fine amount of individuals moving back and forth the streets outside. Slight hints of music can be heard, conversation continuously flowing from outside.
Okay. This, as far as I can see, this is the only guard that's watching us.
Just the one, yeah.
Okay. I'm curious how perceptive he is. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to go back to the front door before I go to bed. I'm going to go back to the front door and open it with the intention of trying to make it silent as quietly as possible. I'm trying to sneak up on him. I mean, I'm not actually. I just want to try to open the door without him noticing.
Stealth check first, please.
Okay. That's an interesting roll.
Okay. As you approach, you start to get to the end and start to turn the handle. As you begin to turn the handle and begin to pull it open, you actually feel the handle give slightly and the door opens on the other end. And you see the guard looking inside towards you through the grated bars of his helmet. We'll look up you. Yes, can I help you?
Oh, just making sure everything's okay. There's a sandwich. Okay, do you need any more? I'm going to bed. Do you need any more refreshment?
Fantastic, sir. Thank you. And the drink. Greatly appreciate it.
Everything seems quite look around. You do see that there is a large crowd of people moving back and forth through the streets.
Quite lively.
Very lively, sir.
Okay, well you have a good night.
Yes, sir. Will do, sir.
I'll just shut the door and go to bed.
He seems quite observant.
Yes, he does. Okay.
I mean, he's just good at his job.
He is. He's a damn fine guard.
Anyone wishing to do anything during the nighttime?
Yes.
You can go to breakfast.
I
Yeah, I
still
got-
find
I
the
got
biggest bed to fall asleep on, or the biggest piece of furniture.
I want to figure
Couch
out what's in
dude.
those cookies.
You're trying to make cookies?
So I
Okay.
got crumbs from Dune from the cookies that he ate. So I'm
Yes.
going to use my homunculus servant, and that's a small beetle, to hold and help me inspect the crumbs. And then I'll use unseen servant to help me get ingredients. I'm going to take some performance enhancing tablets to give myself intelligence boost.
Okay.
This is great.
Vrek, you will go into the kitchen with your heal enhancement and find that Dune has not only consumed the food, but a majority of the ingredients involved in the cooking and preparations of these cookies.
I want to still try and make cookies with what's left.
Okay.
I don't
You will
care if it's
find
hemlock and aspirin. We're going to have
will
cookies in the
find
morning.
He's
that
making cookies,
the
dang it.
one major ingredient that is currently missing is the hazelnuts.
That's fine. I
So
can press the digitation, make
you'll
it taste
do
like
whatever you
hazelnut.
can. Yes, you'll try your best to prestidigitation each and every one of the cookies that you make
As they eat it, yeah.
to smell and try and taste like hazelnut. However, eventually the smell and the taste will fade away.
Mm-hmm.
However, after a good few hours, you do have a good tray filled with reasonably decent sugar cookies that would be hazelnut cookies if they had hazelnut.
Could I have do I think I could reasonably remake the same cookies if I had the ingredients?
Yes.
Good to know. I'll take the sugar cookies as a second place.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Anyone else wishing to do something during the night?
I will.
Okay.
I will commune with Syl. So I haven't already casting commune, so let me
Oh.
link it. So I'm going to do it twice. The first one is casted straight with a spell slot, and then the second one will be through a ritual.
Okay. So you contact Syl. Looking around for a moment, you try and see if there's any signs of him before eventually you do see a scratching motion at your window. Eventually pulling it open, the squirrel like figure will scramble inside and rest on the end of your table.
All right. So the first question is: are any members of Dune's clan in the first ring of Istira?
Hmm. Uh, you usually get a one-word answer.
Mm-hmm.
However, with this particular question, yeah, with this particular question, he will communicate not inside, but nearby.
All right. Then second question is: any person who has personally met Dune in the first ring of Istira?
Not inside, but nearby.
Okay. And then third question is my mother's mental sanity intact?
Unclear.
Okay. So that is the first cast, and now comes the fun part. Alright. So I'll ritual cast the second one.
Okay.
And as you can see, if you cast the spell 2 or more times before finishing your next long rest, there's a cumulative 25% chance for each casting after the first that you get
Mhm.
no answer.
Correct. So, what is your first question?
Is the situation in the first ring due to the negligence of the royal family?
High or low?
I'll go high.
Okay. The question does go through.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is yes.
Okay. And the second question is the second princess safe? And since the casting was successful, I believe you don't have to reroll, I think.
No, with every question.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see.
Every
Oh no, you
cast.
get no answer.
No,
Every
it's
cast.
casting.
That's
Yeah,
every
it's every
cast.
cast.
Never mind. So you're fine.
Alright.
Okay, let's see. Second princess, is she safe?
Yes.
No.
Ooh. Then the last one is the third princess physically safe? Because obviously she's imprisoned.
No.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Which you see the squirrel give a nod, gently brushing against your hand after giving the usual offering towards it, will carefully move away back to the window and will scramble away back to the natural order. Your questions are answered. Whether you wanted them to be the answers you wished or not. Anything else anyone wishes to do before the night is done?
No, I got nothing.
You all awaken to a new day. Some of you within beds. Dune, you wake up with your feet dangling off the one side of the bed as you're too tall for the one that you're currently resting in.
Usually happens.
Usually happens. It will be a relatively calm morning for all of you as there is no immediate rush to get moving during your travels. The occasional aches and pains from the long travel along the desert and throughout your journeys through the last few weeks finally seem to be taking their toll, as some of you do feel the occasional aches and pains of the fights and the encounters that you've been dealing with, finally able to allow your body to have some form of rest. You will find that even though it is relatively a early morning, the outside windows will show silhouettes of people passing by, moving past with other forms of either carts or forms of transport that seem to be moving on the outside.
Okay.
First thing first, early in the morning, I go to Harry and cast Remove Curse.
This shit again with the game.
Yes.
This cape has been so much trouble for some reason. I don't know
Harry,
why. Yeah.
remove curse is placed on you as you feel the eyes of the clasps of your cloak finally close.
I chuck it off.
I kick it to the freaking bag of holding.
The mimic cloak disappears into the bag of holding.
What is it? Is it still on here?
Shadow of the Mimic. This dark black cloak looks like a set of flowing black hair. Until the wearer wields this cloak, the clasp's eyes will open. While wearing this cloak, you gain a +5 to stealth and deception checks. It is cursed. If you ever roll a nat 1 on your charisma checks or saving throws, you roll 1d6 health as piercing damage. So that is going into the bag of holding. No longer in Harry's possession.
All right, I'll note it. I'll note that.
So, Daisy, did you learn anything?
Well, there was no one that knew you inside the ring, and no one from your pack inside said ring. However, they are nearby. Was the answer to both of those?
You see Dune's eyes just wide open. Wait, someone's here.
Nearby, so I believe not in the city.
Rob, would I know of anyone from my pack that would travel this far away?
It's been over a year since you have left the pack due to your own personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones that you remember still being alive, apart from Carrick, Tabaxi, possibly, the Owlin, possibly,
Mm-hmm.
Blizzard folk, probably not.
Okay.
But actually, no, those two
Okay.
would be the most likely, to Tabaxi or the Owlin.
Okay.
Because you would know, especially given that you remember that the Owlin was more of someone who could easily make connections, especially those of more higher intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the Tabaxi that would probably have a better chance of probably getting the general rabble on her side.
Okay.
So it would lead you to believe that if it was the Owlin, maybe further into the city. If it's the Tabaxi, she's outside in the
Okay.
tent city.
I'll just
But
let my. Mm-hmm.
that's the information that you'd probably believe
Okay.
to be
Okay.
best.
My eyes still wide open. I'm just staring at you, Daisy, just kind of surprised. Uh, Keep an eye out for a tabaxi. Can't remember her name, which looks like just a tabaxi. She'd probably be outside the tent city.
Right, I don't think she's getting in.
I know, but I'm saying just.
Once we leave, yes, I shall keep my eyes open.
Daisy,
Mm.
intelligence roll, please. Seeing
Oh,
as
boy.
you were the one that got this information. Oh, never mind.
Shit,
Never mind. You
I'm
would not
too
figure this
focused.
one out.
Yeah, too focused helping Harry.
You would not make this connection. You would
Hey,
not make this connection.
DM,
Yes,
am I able to use my Joker on Daisy's roll?
you could.
Can I wait? Can I use one? It wasn't a nat one. Base 20, right? No,
Base 20.
that's
Yeah.
attack roll or saving.
Oh, that's
Hold
right.
on. Gain advantage and double proficiency bonus. Would that work on this tool or
Could
magic
work.
item roll?
Not magic item roll.
All right, never mind. I tried.
Let's see. Yeah, that's not it. But technically, you could use your King of Secrets and try and figure something out.
I wouldn't even know.
Ace in the hole and index attacker saving throw. Yeah, it's not an ability check.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Daisy.
So yeah,
Eh.
Joker cannot be
And
used.
because it's a new day, I can't make you re-roll that with Paul marks, and even a +5 probably won't help anything there. So I got
Yeah, no,
nothing.
that's just a 9.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2. Like,
Yeah. Just
that
play
was
better,
rough.
Dan. If you could play better, that'd be great.
Hey, I started off with like 2 natural
Actually, that's
20s.
an interesting one. Vannon, out of mild curiosity, you want to roll your portem real
Important.
quick?
Roll the which one?
As well.
Both. Might as well see what you get
See
because
what your
it's a new
portents
day.
are.
In case you're wishing to spend this in case of partial intelligence, but for you future notice.
You know,
as well.
Dan, if you could have just rolled a 1, that would have been better, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
That fall mark, huh?
Gain a mark and also
No,
the
because then it was a
queen
nat 1. Yeah, I could have queened it.
Shit, yeah.
Queen's Gambit. If you ever roll a nat 1, you can turn it into advantage, I think.
But no, you rolled a 2.
I'm sorry, bro. Again.
Yeah, you re-roll with advantage if you roll a 1. So.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. You know how it
Mhm.
is.
Yep.
Jokers are useful, but only for situational things.
Yep.
Vannon, you want to roll those portent real quick?
Yep.
In case we can maybe allow Daisy to connect some form of information.
Maybe salvage this shit show.
That's actually pretty decent.
Yeah. First one especially.
That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll use the first one.
First one. Okay. So instead of a 4, that is a 21.
Holy shit!
Hey, DM, can I add 5 to
There you
that?
go.
Yes, you can.
There we go.
Okay. So
26.
connecting the two. Dune.
Mhm.
You do remember Daisy mentioning a name in one of the books that does gather some form of relation to possibly one of your people.
Mhm.
More specifically, those in Estera. And maybe one of the Zentarum. Something to think on.
Oh, the crow's talon.
And that is where we'll end the session tonight.
Okay.
So, welcome to Estera. Welcome to the madness that soon is going to explode in one particular way or another.
Okay.
Bro, there's so many ways this can go. Like, this rabbit hole just keeps on getting bigger and bigger.
Did somebody say rabbit hole?
Yes, indeed. The one
Did somebody
that
say
the-
explosion?
Yes.
Explosion in the rabbit hole. Oh no.
Oh, don't worry. We're about to go like explore the ores market with Harriet, freaking Daisy.
Oh yeah, I need to prepare the whole list of all the different kinds of ore that you are possibly going to be available to get, but also how fucking
Really?
expensive they are.
Hey man, we got the money to waste, you know.
Hey, go for it. Anyways,
I give my 2 artificers to experiment. Bingo.
yes.
Rek has nothing but his body. What is that worth?
Depends how much worth your body is.
In the right market,
Ten gold
could be
pieces.
a few gold, you know.
Yeah, a couple bucks.
10 gold pieces.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that's all right.
2.5 silver.
Couple bucks in a
Depends if it's
McFlurry.
cold or hot.
To the company, 5 silvers.
Aw.
Dang.
So Rob, did you see my messaging game too?
Yes, I did, and accepted.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there's any complications to that.
No,
So-
you were able to remove your attunement from the cloak, so you're able to attune to your other item.
Ye-
So, you have names. You have people to look out for, and now you have
Absolutely.
the answer to the question of who can you trust?
like I was like, I'm
Nobody-
like, okay, I need Tullius and the professor's dad to get along. Shit, he sent him to his death. Fuck, come on, man. Like, come on, Tullius. Come on, Professor. I'm trying to work here.
Enough of that nonsense.
Oh man,
Dude.
Olive would be frothing.
Oh, this is the
She-
main reason as to why Tullius is wanting to get back to the Council of Estera. Oh, I wonder.
Yeah.
The
and
main
then-
reason as to why he's gone AWOL. Oh, I wonder.
Bro, that's why I was like, I'm gonna bring this up to the group. Whoever wants to go can come. And I was 100%
Wait.
sure he was gonna say, I want to tag along. I'm like,
Did he? Is Tullius going?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Tullius
sorry, I
said he
missed
wants to go.
No, right? Oh, fuck! I wish I. It's my fault. I didn't notice. Oh shit. I don't. I think it's a bad idea, right?
I feel like he's about to
Yeah.
announce that his name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yes,
Like
yeah, it's
that's
a
what
really
I'm
bad
feeling
idea.
here.
My
don't-
name is Tullius. I hate it.
My name is Tullius, husband to a murdered wife, father to a kidnapped son.
Oh,
And I will have my revenge.
Well, hey, we actually fixed that
That's
last one.
life
That
of the
one doesn't
next.
count anymore. You can't use that anymore.
we
Kidnapped
don't
son.
know
Oh, that's right. It's not
if
kidnapped. Yeah.
the wife is dead, but she's not safe. That's 100% confirmed. Because I just
Yes.
communed that one.
You just communed that the second princess not safe because she's in the middle of a war.
Yep.
Third princess
Obviously in
also not
captivity.
safe.
Yep.
Obviously in captivity.
That's why I asked physically safe, because like she hasn't been injured.
And that's when it said
No. Which I'm like, fuck. Like, dude, at this point, Daisy just wants to see the world burn.
Hmm.
And now
Shocked.
you're seeing essentially what some of these people want.
Yeah.
Oh man, Olive would have talked to Daisy and been like, "Hey, welcome to the real world."
Dude,
Like
like,
you're seeing
yeah.
essentially now the perspectives of some of these people, some of the natives are like saying, we wish to see it burn. Other people are saying, we wish to see it grow. Others are saying, let it all fucking blow up and get on with it.
And they
Dude.
can-
But it's just that question of whose side are you on, who do you trust, and who do you put your lot in with? And if you're just by
Mhm.
yourselves, get with the program.
Yeah, like at this point, like I was thinking, like shit, like we should make a freaking mega faction with freaking HCM and Lords Alliance and all the good people, and it's like screw everybody else. We run the show.
I'm not gonna. I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, no, it's just like so complicated because there's so many moving parts to it, and then it's like Daisy's just like appreciating Olive more and more the more she finds out about this shit.
I can just see the combination of the HDM and the Lord's Alliance. They call it Alliance Don't Matter. Yeah.
Alliance don't matter.
The ADM.
Dude, but just imagine that. Like, you have the Order of the Gauntlet as the army. You have the HCM
Order
as
the
the Navy.
Gauntlet is a subsect of Lord's Alliance, if I remember.
The Order. Really?
It's so the Order of the Gauntlet is essentially a gathering of followers of Torm and Helm
Uh-huh.
and Ilmater, that were essentially paladins and holy. Essentially, imagine them as the Holy Crusade of the like army sect.
Yeah, I thought there were
All the Crusaders,
subsect of the Lord's
paladins.
Alliance because the Lord's
Yeah.
Alliance was too holy for them. Well, not holy, too politicking
Yeah.
for them.
So
And they're like, you
the
guys
Lord's
have lost the
Alliance
sight of what we're doing.
was for the people.
Yeah.
The Order of the Gauntlet is for the divine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Usually, when it comes to the clergy or members of like the churches and the like divine areas of like guarding and usually protecting, is when the Order of the Gauntlet are involved because they take care of cults, they take care of darker like devils and demons, while the Lord's Alliance are basically taking care of bandits and like evil trade organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Evil.
makes sense to be like the army and the army plus.
The Army and the Marines. Or
It's the
the SEALs.
army, the
Actually, yeah, the army and
marines,
the Marines, yeah.
and it's the army, the marines, and then you have
The
Spec
HCM would
Ops.
be both the
the
Air Force
HCM is
and the Navy.
basically the Air Force and the Navy.
No. You have the Army, the Marines, and then the A team. Like
The AT.
the HDM is the A
Navy
team.
SEALs, basically.
They're freaking
No, that would be
mercenaries
the
for hire.
freaking ATM, no? Like
Yeah.
with their bounty hunters and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they're soldiers of fortune, basically.
pretty much. Originally trade marketers of the nautical waves, and then turned into protectors of merchant ships and destroyer of pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Where in our real life, it went the other way around. The trade merchants turncoated and became pirates.
Right? A lot of crusaders actually became pirates.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works, huh?
I know. But yeah, you guys are starting to pick apart the inner workings and starting to see the spider web slowly but surely expand and realize how high of an influence and how much reach these people really have.
My past is
You
coming
are
back to
now
haunt me.
beginning to realize how big of a spread that really is.
Yeah, I'm
Bro.
shocked it got that far.
Dude, just imagine it all started with some fucking bugs in a cave.
No kidding.
How the dominoes have fallen.
Your quest started with bugs in a cave. This whole quest line, everything started with one person, Old Benin, crashing
Oh, that's true.
into the island that originally became Windspear.
Dude, just imagine it's like old man crashes his ship into a unknown island. Toppling of an ancient empire at the end of the dominoes.
Right.
Oh, no, after that one. Killing death itself.
Right.
Here we go.
I'm excited. Not
Welcome
gonna
to
lie.
the capital. Holy shit.
Yeah, part of me is like, oh wait, we can't trust. Wait, never mind. I'm not Olive. I don't know that.
Don't worry, I've taken the spiritual successor role of Olive.
A lot messier, but yeah, it works.
Yeah, because obviously not Olive. But, you
Right,
know,
exactly.
She's starting to become it. Won't fully get into the role, but she will definitely try her best.
Yeah, we were onto something.
And there.
I'm excited.
Thank you all for playing tonight, everyone. As always.
Yeah.
See you all
Thank you
next
very much
week.
for running it.
See some of you tomorrow and some of you Sunday, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we
Oh,
can finish
tomorrow
this
too.
today.
Oh, we're finishing Sunday. What do you mean?
There's a good
Yeah.
chance
Oh,
it ends
Sunday as
this
well.
Sunday.
Yeah. Have you talked any word?
So
about
far,
any,
no. So he's
okay.
yeah. I'm gonna keep trying, but
Sure.
don't expect him to show up at this point.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
I'll play the character then, no worries.
It's really a shame.
Have